Maslow and Bloom by Emily and Madison.
Abraham Maslow, he was born in 1908 and died in 1970. One of his quotes I found interesting was he said, "I was awfully curious to find out why I didn't go insane."
Benjamin Bloom, born 1913 and died in 1999. Bloom said, "Creativity follows mastery, so mastery of skills is the first priority for young talent."
Early years. He was born in Brooklyn, New York on April 1st, 1908. He is the oldest of 7 children. His parents were first-generation Jewish immigrants who fled from Tsarist persecution. He lived in a poor, working-class neighborhood in New York City. Maslow faced anti-Semitism, which was discrimination against Jewish people by many teachers and classmates. He didn't get along with his mother and had very few friends. Maslow spent much of his time in libraries, which developed his love for reading. He attended Boys High School, one of the top high schools in Brooklyn. He served as an officer on many academic clubs, and he attended City College of New York after graduating high school.
Benjamin Bloom's early years. He was born in Lansford, Pennsylvania. As a child in Lansford, Pennsylvania, the librarian would not allow him to return books that he had checked out earlier in the same day until he was able to convince her that he had indeed read them completely. He was always a curious child and always eager to learn.
He graduated from City College and attended grad school at the University of Wisconsin to study psychology. His mentor was Henry Harlow. He married his first cousin, Bertha, in 1928. Psychology training was experimental behaviorist. He researched primate dominance, behavior, and sexuality. He later furthered his research at Columbia University, and there his mentor was Alfred Adler.
He took family very seriously and taught his sons to play ping pong, chess, handball, and to type and compose stories, as well as to invent. Bloom was the state champion in handball in college. He received a bachelor's and master's degree from Pennsylvania State University in 1935. He received a PhD in education from the University of Chicago in 1940. He taught a few classes at Chicago, but he ended up being an international advisor for students. While he was an international advisor for students, he mainly advised students in India and Israel. He was instrumental in providing how students should improve their knowledge as preparation for teachers in a classroom. During his time at Chicago University, he served on a board of examiners. He mostly focused on methods of instruction, educational outcomes, and measurement of those outcomes.
Maslow's career. Maslow became a faculty member of Brooklyn College. He focused on the good qualities in people, studied mental health and human potential. He concentrated on hierarchy of needs, meta-needs, and self-actualizing persons and peak experiences. He became the leader of Humanistic School of Psychology. Maslow described humans' needs arranged as a ladder. Steps on the ladder started with the most basic needs on the bottom. This is Maslow's hierarchy of needs. At the bottom, it starts with the basic needs, and it's psychological, and it goes up to safety, love and belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. These are the steps of the hierarchy of needs, just explained a little more. It starts with the psychological and biological needs, which is air, food, drink, shelter, warmth, sleep. Safety needs include protection from elements, security, order, law, stability, freedom from fear. And love and belongings needs are friendship, intimacy, trust, and acceptance, receiving and giving affection and love, affiliating, being a part of a group, which is family, friends, work. Level 4 is esteem needs, which Maslow classified into 2 categories. It's esteem for oneself and the desire for respect from others. And the 5th level is self-actualization needs, which is realizing personal potential, self-fulfillment, seeking personal growth, and peak experiences. It's a desire to become everything one is capable of becoming. Maslow's hierarchy is a motivational theory in psychology. He believed human beings are motivated by a hierarchy of needs. He said basic needs must be more or less met prior to higher needs. Maslow believed the order of needs could be flexible depending on the circumstances. Behavior is often multi-motivated and determined by more than one need. Maslow was a strong believer that a person's needs must be met to reach their potential, which just brings out the importance of a student's needs being met in the classroom.
Bloom's career. Bloom's is most known for his creation of Bloom's taxonomy. It had educational objectives. There were 6 key levels based on cognitive domain. Each level depends on the student's ability according to the previous level, which is scaffolding their learning. Bloom's divided educational objectives into 3 domains. They were affective, psychomotor, and cognitive. It is hierarchical, meaning that learning at the higher levels is dependent on having attained previous knowledge and skills at lower levels. Bloom intended that the taxonomy motivate educators to focus on all 3 domains, creating a more holistic form of education. Bloom's research showed that educational setting and home environments can foster human potential and they transform education. Bloom also did research on mastery learning, where he explained that a person's success is not a gift, but it's through hard work. His research showed that people who succeed in careers put in at least 10 years of dedicated effort before achieving significant recognition. This is Bloom's taxonomy. It starts off at the bottom with remember, and this is just where they recall facts and basic concepts, and before they can progress to understand, they first must remember. So understand, they explain ideas or concepts, then they go up to apply, which is where they use information in new situations. Analyze comes next, where they draw connections among ideas. They evaluate, which justifies a stand or decision. And then lastly, they create, which is produce new or original work.
Maslow's later years. In 1954, he published Motivation and Personality. It covered 15 years of theorizing about human nature, which made him famous. In the 1960s, his career blossomed, and entrepreneurs wanted his advice on how to motivate their workers. In 1967, he had a heart attack, relocated to a milder climate, and continued to teach. In 1970, he had another heart attack and passed away.
Benjamin Bloom's later years. Benjamin Bloom died Monday, September 13th, 1999, in his home in Chicago. He was 86 when he died. Benjamin Bloom was the author of many books, and these are just some of his books here for you to see. They are entitled Developing Talent in Young People, Taxonomy of Educational Objectives, Stability and Change in Human Characteristics.
Maslow's contribution to psychology and education. He was a humanistic psychologist. He believed humans had great potential. Maslow's hierarchy of needs applies to not only adults but students as well. For students to learn and be successful, their needs must be met.
Bloom's contribution to education. His activism helped lead to the creation of a Head Start program that provides support to preschool-aged children of low-income families, giving them opportunities to begin a life of learning and consequent achievement. This is just something that he thought was a need to help families that could not afford to go to school or that could not afford a daycare to help teach their kids, and this Head Start program would help teach kids at an earlier age.
Maslow versus Bloom. Maslow had the hierarchy of needs. Starting at the bottom of the pyramid are students' basic needs. These are most important needs, and these must be met before the needs higher up in the pyramid are met. In Bloom, he had the domains of learning. At the bottom of the pyramid, it starts with a basic understanding. Before the student reaches the top of the pyramid, they must master each previous level. Before Bloom's domains of learning can occur, Maslow's hierarchy of needs must be met. If students' basic needs are not met, they cannot focus on learning academically. They are worried about how to meet their needs.
Maslow versus Bloom. Both have pyramids that start with the basic level being at the bottom and the people progress to the top. Both theories affect students' learning. They both affect how successful a student will be in their learning and after school, and they both focus on the success of people.